Welcome to the Shabby Fabrics at Home Studio. I'm Chase. Thank you for joining me today to create something together. Today we are going to make this beautiful vintage winter wreath here. This is just the cutest wreath to hang all winter long. You can hang it during Christmas, but it also just makes the perfect element to hang on your door to welcome your guests during the new year when it's still cold outside. It has this textured felt here with two different kinds of leaves and also this gorgeous velvet black ribbon here along with this cute little snowflake. This is a part of our hoop wreath series that we've done before. If you haven't checked those out, make sure to go look at our spring blooms hoop wreath and also our summer sage one. They're just the perfect wreaths to switch in and out, and they're super easy to make. We are going to sell the patterns separately for those of you that want to make many different wreaths. And we will get started by first prepping our materials. What you'll want to do is we will start with the making the different kinds of leaves. Like we've done before, we are still using the acrylic leaf templates here, but we are also going to use the rose petal templates that we did use for another wreath. However, this one is going to make the perfect eucalyptus shape. So it's just nice and handy to have dual purposes. And we'll just do the same process with these ones. You just lay them flat on the felt piece of fabric that you have here. We'll take our friction pen that you know I love because it just easily erases any mistakes that you may make. And we're just outlining this template here completely around so we can see the outline. And we will make many different leaves on your felt sheet. Your pattern will include how many to make. And once you have the shape outlined, what we're going to do is take our scissors. I love the Karen K. Buckley scissors. They're just comfortable and are great for this thicker felt material that we use. And we are just going around the outline. If you go slightly inwards and you still have your mark here, that is okay because you can just easily apply heat and it will erase and you won't have any markings on your felt leaves here. And this will just become the perfect eucalyptus shape. You're going to do these with both the rose petal acrylics here for the eucalyptus leaves and also for the sage leaves that they are similar to. You'll use the other acrylic leaf templates. You'll get those all prepped and set aside. And what we will do first is create our sage leaves that go around the top portion of the wreath here. You're gonna wanna grab your hoop wreath, or our embroidery hoop that makes the outline for the wreath here that we will include in a kit as well. You will get all of the materials that we'll use here to create this kit. So that way you're not hunting all of your materials down. We make it nice and handy for you, delivered right to your doorstep. We'll take our hoop here and also our sage leaves that we cut earlier. And we're going to start forming these leaves by applying just a small amount of glue to your leaf here, just in the center. And then you will pinch just right in the middle. You're going to hold until that sets, and then you'll set it aside and organize them by the size, so that way it's easier to gather when you are applying it to your hoop here. I'll show you one more time, just a small dot of glue in the center, and then fold it and pinch it just right in half. Hold it for just a short amount of time, and then set aside organizing by size. Once you have all of those formed, you will gather them once more and we will start applying them to the hoop itself. To do so, you're gonna take your hot glue gun. While I'm making this, because it can sometimes drip over the side of this hoop here, I'm going to first lay down my parchment paper sheet. This is the best because it's nice and large and it just covers your craft area so you don't have any spills onto your surface. You can just then wrap it up, throw it away, makes it nice and easy for you. To start applying the leaves, we will grab one here and apply some glue. First, I'm gonna move this wreath aside and get it out of the way and so you can see the form of it better. And we will just apply a small amount of glue to one side of these leaves here. And then apply it to the side of your hoop here. And we will just continue filling it in halfway until it meets with the wood beads here, but we just want to cover as much as this hoop as we can. So I'm gonna apply it now to this side and place it right here so it covers more of the wood here, and hold it in place. And you will just rotate which side you apply the glue to your leaf so what it fits best to cover whatever area you are working with. You'll want to make sure as well that you take a smaller leaf or whatever size you think looks best, and you want to place it so that it is covering this clasp here. I like to keep my clasp on the top just because it keeps it center for me, so I know what is the right direction, what's straight, and we will apply it just directly over like so that way it begins to cover that clasp and it's not visible. The ribbon at the end will also help us cover as well. And you will just continue covering these in a downward motion, so you will go downwards on this side about halfway, apply glue with the leaf or to the leaf here, and we'll then go down this side as well and just down in both directions with the leaves here. So we will now apply on this other side. Again, we will continue to cover this clasp with another leaf. And our leaves here are just both facing downwards. You don't want to turn it this direction so it's turning up. We want to just make sure they're both facing towards the end of this hoop wreath here, making a formation down to the wood beads that we will later apply. I'm going to apply one more leaf here to just cover it a little bit more. And you can stand yours up in different directions too. So maybe you have one a little bit more flat, one a little bit more placed upright. So that way it creates a little bit of dimension while you're doing this and some texture. So it's not just flat directly onto the hoop wreath itself. It has a little bit of character to it. Like I said, you'll continue going down, and for filming purposes, I have completed this one here so you can see exactly where the placement of these leaves should go before we then apply the wood beads. So like I said, it's about halfway down each side. We will then take our wood beads, which we are also including in this kit to make it nice and easy for you. You don't have to go hunt these down. And what we will do is take our hot glue gun, which this is the perfect hot glue gun for these projects. It's a fine tip glue gun. It doesn't put out a lot of glue and kind of go all over the project here. It stays in one place for these finer detailed projects. And we will apply glue to the hoop itself. We will take our bead and make it so the two ends of the beads with the hole are facing on the top and bottom. So that way when we set the bead down, you're not seeing either of those holes. You are only seeing the flat wood surface here. So again, we'll apply a little bit more glue to the hoop itself, the embroidery hoop. Again, put the holes of the wood bead here on the top and bottom and just line it up directly next to your bead that you set there previously, and you will just continue going all the way along your wreath here. So once you've gone all the way around with your wood beads, let them dry for just a little while before you continue on. If you finish with your wood beads and you feel like you need to fill in with more leaves, for example, on this side, I don't want to add another wood bead because I want to even with this side. And so what I will do is I will take one of our leaves that we made earlier and I will just apply it to the wreath here and just hide that area where the blank space is, and just add any more leaves where you see fit to look the best once you have combined the two. So there's just an easy flow into the wood beads, a good transition, and you don't have any blank spaces, and it just adds a little bit more depth to it. Once we have the sage leaves here and our wood beads, we're gonna move along to our eucalyptus leaves, making those. We cut these out earlier with our templates here, which are just super easy to keep on hand. And we're gonna make 2 different types of eucalyptus leaves here. We will start by taking our floral wire stems, which are also included in your kit, and you will cut one of your floral wire stems using, wire cutters or maybe some strong scissors you have on hand. And we will cut one of the wires in half. With your other floral wire stem that you will have, you will take it and cut it into 4ths, so just in half again, to make the smaller stems that we will be using. So you will have 2 longer stems and then 4 shorter ones. And we will take, for this type of eucalyptus we'll make first, which is similar to like a blue eucalyptus, we will take one of the smaller stems here and begin making our eucalyptus by taking one of the leaves here. And we will apply glue. Instead of just a small dot in the center, we're actually going to apply a little bit more over the tip of the eucalyptus leaf, and then place the stem on top there and kind of wrap the 2 ends around the floral stem. Once you have held it in place for just a little while, you're then going to take the leaf and fold it backwards to give it its shape. You'll then grab one more of these here. And again, we're applying the glue to the bottom tip of this eucalyptus leaf, and we will then place it wrapped around that first leaf that we made, around that portion of the leaf, and again, just bend it over. And you'll start to see the shape of the eucalyptus stem form as you continue downwards onto the floral wire stem. Again, just the point there of this leaf, and you're rotating sizes as you're going down. You're gathering some large ones, some small ones, and I'm going to go downwards now and apply this one wrapped around the stem, just slightly downwards. And again, as you're kind of wrapping it around, it wants to naturally fold backwards, but just give it a little bit more dimension there. Applying glue, wrapping it around that one that I just placed, which is slightly lower than these first 2, and just continue downwards. You can do another 2, or to add a little bit more dimension, you can add a 3rd one wrapped around here as you go along. For my stems that I made, I would just randomly do an area that has 3 of them wrapped around the stem, and then sometimes I would just do 2. So this is what I would do with the 3rd. Just wrapped around with that one bent backwards. And then I would start again with just 2 placed down and wrapped around and fold over. You'll keep going downwards until your stem looks similar to the shape we have here, which is like the blue eucalyptus stem. You're going to make 2 of these smaller stems and also 2 of these larger ones here for this blue eucalyptus. Keep going downwards to make your stems there, and then we will set them aside for now. And we're going to make the second type of eucalyptus, which is similar to like a silver dollar eucalyptus, which is just slightly different. So you can see the difference between the 2 here, still using that acrylic shape here to make them. They just have a little bit of a different shape to them, just like eucalyptus naturally has. So to make these, we're going to take one of our stems, we'll grab a eucalyptus leaf, and for this one we are applying a small dot in the center. We are pinching in half, like so, holding just slightly until the glue has set. We will then apply glue here to the side of this leaf, and we will apply our floral wire stem where we applied the glue and just hold it slightly until that has set. While we are waiting this to dry a little bit, we will then begin doing this with another eucalyptus leaf. I'm, again, just grabbing random sizes to create this bunch here. So now I have a smaller one. I'm applying a small dot of glue to the point there. I am pinching it. And then I would like to apply this one just right here. And so to do so, I'm gonna apply glue again, just to the side. This is also where this glue gun comes in handy because that's just a very small amount of glue we want. And I will then set this leaf right there on the side of this one here and hold until it is in place. We'll then take another varying size dot of glue, pinch to hold in place, apply glue to the side here, and then apply it to the floral wire stem. And you can start to see this form. And we're just going to do the same motion going downwards to create two total of these silver dollar eucalyptus branches that are just slightly different than the eucalyptus that we made prior. Once you have all of those completed, we will then set them aside and begin applying them to the sage leaves here to create the dimension that we have with this wreath. So once you have made your eucalyptus stems, your pattern will entail how many of each stem you will need to make. You're then going to apply them to the wreath. And so this just adds the added dimension going upwards that makes it look very realistic and have that nice texture. What I will do first is I will first place the stem where I would like it to go. So I would like this small eucalyptus stem to go upwards in this wreath about right there. And I am just going to lay it there to see if that's where I want to place it before I glue it down. And our other silver dollar eucalyptus here, I'm gonna place it slightly in the middle of our leaves, about right there. And then our long blue eucalyptus stem here, I'm going to place slightly behind, about right there. So you can see this is making the shape here of the eucalyptus that just curves outwards. And I just want to place them there first, so that way I'm not gluing them down and realize I actually wanted one a little bit higher up, a little bit lower. Just a few different ways this can be done, and it is your preference. So if you feel like you would like yours a different way than we designed, go ahead and do so. I'm just applying glue to the area where I would like to place this, and I am then placing the wire in that area and taking the leaves and slightly holding it down into place so it holds steady in that area. I will then take this middle stem that I placed here, again apply it to the wood and leaves that were already placed there, and then place the stem where we applied the glue and hold it in place, just like so. And lastly, we'll take this longer one, and this one goes slightly behind this middle one here. So I will then take the glue and just put it right on the edge here and apply the stem to that glue and hold it in place. When you are applying the glue for these stems, I'm just going to apply a little bit more so it holds there. You only want to apply it to the bottom portion of these floral wire stems because we want to make this area of the wreath movable. So you can see here, if they're glued down only the bottom portion, we can move it and make it a little bit fuller if that's what we desire, or we can make it a little bit flatter. We can twist them to make it go towards the center more or make it go out. really get creative and make yours function however you would like to. You really can move it around a bunch of different ways. Once you complete one side, you will do the same thing to this other side here. Again, all the leaves are just trending downwards. Once you have those in place, we'll begin to apply the little snowflake that is included. It's just the cutest little wooden snowflake that just dangles in the middle there. We have included this in your kit as well, along with the jute that we're going to apply to this little snowflake. It has a hole in the center here. We'll then take the jute and just place it through and tie a small knot here to keep it in place. One knot there. And then we will tie a second knot around the top of the wreath, just right in the center of where we previously had the clasp that we now hid within the leaves. We'll tie it on there. You can do a double knot just to make sure that it's extra secure. And this jute string is about 6 inches or so, and it will just dangle in the middle. Then we will take our black velvet ribbon that is also included in your kit. And how I like to tie this is to make it so it covers this jute string just a little bit. So I'm gonna fold it in half in equal lengths, so that way my ribbon is equal on both sides. And I'm going to start by just wrapping the ribbon around here once. I'm gonna cut a little bit off of the string here to get rid of that little piece, and wrap this one around as well, so it's covering more of that string. And then that's when I'm gonna begin to tie my bow at the top here. And I just tie a regular bow just right in the center. And I like to do a smaller bow, so that way you can have the two ends of the ribbon just dangle down slightly as well. We can pull this tight. You can cut a little bit off the ends. We'll just slightly cut it off the ends. I have it hanging just a little bit below the beads here, as you can see with this wreath. And that is the very last step in creating this wreath. So you have this little snowflake dangling in the center along with the ribbon ends, and it's just the cutest design. This is a very easy and simple wreath to create. This is our third wreath of these embroidery hoop wreaths that we have done. Go back and check those out. It's just a nice wreath to switch in and out with every changing season, and go with all your decor. And this one will look beautiful not only for your Christmas decor, but throughout your winter time. It's just the perfect little wreath to hang on your door to greet your guests that you may have joining you for the holiday season. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time. In the meantime, make sure to check out the Shabby Fabrics YouTube channel and follow along and subscribe there. And also follow along our At Home with Shabby Instagram and Pinterest page, which is At Home with Shabby. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.